All right, what is up, Sisterhood? What's the date? I don't even know. Wednesday, January 26th. We are so excited to share all the things NLC with you guys. But before we do that, let's open it up for recognition.
I'll go. Okay, so I'm doing this call from my truck because I have the worst Wi-Fi ever in the place that I'm at. So sorry for being a creepo in the dark. But I never got to officially congratulate Julie House on hitting Emerald last week. I wasn't on the call, so yay, yay, yay. So freaking excited for her. I also want to congratulate someone's talking. I want to congratulate Jen Stevens' hubby, Jordan, who is going Emerald tomorrow. We all know it's really Jen, but she is just like running this business in such an authentic and boss way. Honestly, like she stepped into this role and is doing it differently than anybody I've ever seen. She's got standards for all of her challengers that she does not negotiate on. And I think it's so freaking cool. And I know she's going to build a huge business. Her downline is locked and loaded, claiming it now. She's going to be one of the next Sisterhood Diamond coaches. Faux show. So congrats, Jen, aka Jordan. And I want to welcome Kara, who officially wrapped up the mentorship tonight. I'm so excited about you, and I kept gushing about you at NLC. I wanted to tell everyone about you because I know you're going to step into the Sisterhood so beautifully. And Jess Ward as well, and Chelsea Payton Stewart. I don't know if you're on the call. Two other new coaches I am so excited about. So welcome, ladies.
I'd love to go. A couple special shout outs to some new coaches on our team. I'm not sure if Jess is on the team, but I know Erin shouted her out last week. She hit Emerald in like 24 hours, guys. I know they talk about Diamond is a decision, and Emerald is a decision, and she did it. Within 24 hours, she hit SC6 within 48 hours, and she is just crushing everything. She's showing up in her group consistently every single day. She is such a pleasure to work with, and I am like so excited for everything that is coming your way, Jess. You totally deserve it. I love doing life with you. Thank you. And shout out to Christina Pendergast, who's sitting at SC12. She is like totally started this year, like fireworks everywhere. Her team is on fire right now too. So I could not be more proud of you. I love doing Mamahood with you. I love doing life with you, and I'm so excited for next month. And Marina NLC, I just love seeing you shine. Keep shining bright, girlfriend. You continue to inspire me. I'm so in awe of you.
Thanks, Chantal, for that shout out. I really appreciate that. I'm going to jump in really fast, ladies, and shout out to one of my coaches who just went Emerald yesterday. She's been a fabulous coach on my team for over a year, has had the most incredible transformation. She's been killing it, showing up authentically, truly, for all of the women who have joined her. And it's just an absolute pleasure. Truly, it's a pleasure to have linked arms with this woman. We went from complete strangers to now best friends. So shout out to Amanda Osman, who went Emerald. Way to go, girl. So proud of you.
I want to give a shout out to Melanie Campbell, who's going Emerald, also went Emerald like that, made the decision to make it happen, had her sister and her hubby sign up, and she's all set to go Emerald tomorrow. So congrats to you. I also want to do a really massive shout out to the NLC virtual attendees. Like, you guys literally reignited my belief in community. Like, genuinely, the way you guys came together over this NLC together virtually was friggin' beautiful. You genuinely made the most out of a really shitty situation. And I know it was sad, but you guys literally shined the brightest I've ever seen you shine. And you guys coming together like a group of amazing people, like just supporting each other. I'm actually speechless about it. So I know it wasn't easy. I'm just proud of you guys. Like, genuinely, I'm proud of the humans that you are.
Anybody else? All right, before we start, huge shout out to you, Erin and Courtney. I know we talked a lot this weekend about how our team is so unique. Courtney made a post about it as well. And a huge part of that is the culture that you guys have made, like have created on this team from the very, very, very beginning. So not only the NLC girls, like the ones in person and the ones who are virtual, but this entire team, we just love and appreciate you guys so, so, so much. So thank you. And I'm going to kick it off to Clarissa. Start us off.
Yes. Hey guys, and you know what? Sarah makes like just the greatest intro because I really want to speak to you guys about the power of connection. You know, due to COVID and of course the convenience of Zoom, right? It's nice for us to be able to get together on Wednesday nights. But I will tell you, there's a reason why Erin and Courtney and the rest of the leaders say you need to get to a live event. When I started coaching, you know, once I started learning about Emerald and progressing my business and what that meant and the opportunities that it made for me, I decided that there were going to be things that were non-negotiables for me. And reaching 1-star and getting to NLC was a non-negotiable. So I busted my ass to make sure that it was going to happen. And the fact that I got to experience this with my coach Koo makes my heart literally want to explode. You know, one of the things I wanted to point out, and Sarah had mentioned it too, guys, we have an absolute gift by being associated with the Sisterhood. And I can tell you this because we were able to witness other teams, how they composed themselves, what it looked like at NLC. And I was one proud mofo to be able to rock that Sisterhood tank top and to be able to lock arms with these women. I'm telling you, they not only allowed us to feel special, but they, you know, treated us exactly like the team name is, like sisters. And sisters are meant to have each other's back. They're meant to share the same beliefs. And that is exactly what they did for us. From the minute we got picked up at the airport and when we even went back like to pick up Sarah and Marina, I'm telling you, if anyone saw the videos, it was the most hilarious thing. We had the horns going, the music blasting, like it was just all about being together. When we were at the conference, there was something really special about being a part of this group. Like you could tell they gifted us these wonderful, of course, it's like the wonderful merch, like the hat and the hoodie, but I'm telling you, it was more than that. It was about how they allowed us to feel in our hearts. And I know that the people who attended virtually, I know you guys felt that too. And those of us that were there, we tried our best to be able to, like, I know myself and Koo and the girls after the session, we had checked in with a few by doing a FaceTime call just to remind them that we are all together, well, whether we are there physically or not. I had the unique opportunity of being able to be on stage with Jennifer Jacobs, and guys, like, I mean, right? I know that people saw the videos and they were like, girl, you were smiling the whole entire time. And that's because my heart was literally on fire. Fire from the workout, but also fire from the passion from being able to have this opportunity. The one thing that I really took away from that, guys, is being able to be in the live workout also and on stage meant that I had a different kind of perspective. I could see out into the crowd. And so being able to see the eyes of these women who were working out, who were fired up, you know, there was one girl near the end of the workout and I could see she was getting emotional and I was getting emotional too. And we had this special moment, two strangers being able to put my hand on my heart and her put her hand on her heart. And that to me says that we were connected. Being able to be together also means that we get to create these relationships that are deeper than they are just by connecting on social media and by these meetings every single week, which are great. But with the women that I was able to travel with, and I will say a special shout out to Megan Foran. Her and I connected even more especially because we had done the Job 1 test group together and we had connected on that front. We shared some special voice notes and lots of tears together. But, you know, we're able to do little things like have little inside jokes and have this special time together. Guys, I'm telling you right now, if you have any type of opportunity to work your business to get to one of these live events, it's 100% what you want to do. The next step is to get to Summit in July, because I know I'm going to be there, and I want all of our teams and all of our communities to be able to come and represent as well. I hope that by you guys watching our stories, it lit a fire inside you. I know it can be hard to watch from afar, but one of the things that makes you want to be better is when you have examples that can show you what is possible. For me to be able to be at NLC and to be a Black woman too, that was huge. Everyone needs to be able to represent who they are and what they're about. And I'm telling you, being able to be in person, it does something different. So my call to action is do the damn thing, and whatever it is you have to do to get there so that you can represent sisterhood and your communities as proudly as we all have. So Marina, I'll pass it off to you.
Oh my goodness, Clarissa. I love it. I love it. Honestly, that was so much fire. And I like ditto everything that you said about being in live person event. Like, I'll share a little bit about my journey to get here and then my tactical takeaways from NLC. But I was like a stalker on the sidelines for 4 years before I said yes to coaching. I had bod. I was on the coaster of doing the workouts, not really part of a community. And when my coach Chantal reached out, I was like, this is it. This is the time. I knew this community was different than anything I was a part of before. So it was a full circle moment being in that live workout, I know, for myself especially. And yeah, just ditto to all of that. But what I want to share from my takeaway from NLC is about the simplicity of this business. And if I'm being honest, the keynote speakers that we had were absolutely incredible. Leaders in this business have been there for 12 years, 5 years, 6 years. We got to hear from Emily Lemoyne, who was literally at NLC a year ago and was a 1-star at NLC last January and now was 6-star elite, which was just purely incredible to hear from her and getting to hear from her takeaways from being in our shoes to where she is now. And the simplicity is doing the bat. Like, I know for myself, almost 2 years into this business, I felt like I had gotten so down concrete with the bat. I was like, I don't need to like check it off. I used to print it off, do my little check marks. But along the way, I lost that consistency, and I lost that doing the income producing activities of inviting, connecting. Life gets chaotic, and we'll just be like, oh, we'll get to it another day. Like it'll be there tomorrow. But truthfully, like hearing from these leaders that have been in this business for X amount of time now, that is what their biggest takeaways were. And I just have my notes here that I had kept from the conference that like, truthfully, like getting concrete with your goals as well, like knowing why you're showing up to do your bat in this business every single day. And another big takeaway that we all kind of shared along the way is Beachbody is the vehicle. It's the vehicle that we have to use to get towards our goals, which I know the other leaders are going to talk a bit more about. But yeah, like sharing the coaching opportunity is a big, big, big opportunity that you can share that's also along with the bat. Like in your stories, we have the What is Coaching Call happening tomorrow night. Why not share about it? I know for myself, like I was nervous to invite to coaching in the beginning because I felt like I didn't know what I was doing. And truthfully, 2 years in, I sometimes still feel like I don't know what I'm doing, but that's okay because we have this amazing, amazing community of leaders to work alongside in this business. And if you see people in your challenge groups as well that you've invited to this opportunity and they're crushing it, those are the women to invite to this, sharing this opportunity with them. And also consistently with doing your bat in the simplicity of this business is having the info groups marked down. We have the Sisterhood and we have Crush Nation available to us that they are offering sneak peeks once a month. So you know when those dates are, mark them into your calendar, just like a business meeting. So you know when you're inviting and you're strategizing on your stories of what to share or what to post on your grid, you have that call to action about coaching in particular. And also like the info groups can get tied into when we have launches. We have them available to give that sneak peek to people to what's coming. So it's just that little like inside door for them to be able to access. And with inviting, like setting it, and I know Sarah shared this in the like Sisterhood coach page, so if you haven't watched that live, go watch it. And we talked about this weekend, is setting that uncomfortable goal of how many people you're gonna invite in a day, but also setting it so that it's maintainable, that you're not scared to sit down and do it. Like I know for myself, I felt like I kind of got lost and carried away with what number I wanted to invite for people for this business or just to join my group for whatever challenge group I'm running each month. And it oftentimes would scare me. So I was like, okay, I need to sit back, reevaluate, and that's okay. So now I've set my number and it's like 5 people to invite a day, and that could be to coaching, it could be to the group, it could be to a free group, whatever you're offering of value. And it doesn't seem as scary because I know I'll be able to get that done, and then that number is going to multiply over the course of the month. Because I'm not going to lie, I'm not good at math. I'm not going to give a number of how many that's in a month. So yeah, just getting concrete, clear on who you're inviting and when, like setting those dates for yourself of when you're going to be hosting a new challenge group a month, or if you're going to have these people join your business and your group ongoing, just setting that as a non-negotiable for yourself, and just getting like concrete. Having a success partner is huge with doing the BAT. That's someone to hold you accountable to your goals. So it's like, get into the coach corner, get into whatever your community chat may be, and find that person to connect with. Because I know for myself, that's where I've been able to find that consistency. And just kind of, again, like it's that simplicity of the business. And we have the business activity tracker there for us, right? We have a digital one now in our back office that you get to just click away electronically. Or if you're a pen to paper kind of guy like myself, you can print it off as well. I don't mind dropping it, and I know it's somewhere in the coach community. So those are my biggest takeaways. It's just the simplicity of this business, and don't let it get overcomplicated. It's fun. Why reinvent the wheel, right? Like we have so many tools and resources at our disposal. So those are my biggest takeaways. And like Clarissa said, it was just a joy being with everyone, and I can't wait to see everybody at Summit because it's going to be massive. St. Louis is going to be like bombarded by the Sisterhood. So I'm going to leave it there, and I'm going to toss it over to Sarah.
That's awesome. And they really did. They talked about it so much. Like the coaches who are on stage, they're just doing the same things that we're doing. Like they really did bring it up a bunch of times. But my biggest takeaway was from Christina Delgado. She's like one of the best in the company, one of the top coaches. And really the beginning of my takeaway, it was something that was kind of personal, but the more I think about it, the more I realize like it's applicable to everybody. Just to share a little bit about what her story was, she was talking about how like two or 3 months into coaching, she was a full-time lawyer at the time, and she received a surprise diagnosis that her son had autism, and she was crushed by it. She was devastated. She, had her full-time job, and now she had this extra thing on her plate, and she was going to have all these appointments and the stress and all the stuff. And she was really in this moment where she had to make a decision. She could take the easy route out, and she could step away from coaching because it would free up time for everything else, or she could do the hard and she could really lean into this business. And she decided to lean in because she knew that by doing the hard in the moment, it was going to open up opportunities for her family and for their life in the long term. As a special needs parent, like it literally hit me right in the feels. And the more I thought about it, it's like we have the opportunity to grow through what we're going through with this business. And we all have something different of what our heart is, right? You don't have to have a diagnosis like what Christina had. Like everybody's heart is different, but everybody has the heart. And when you are faced in that moment, like don't step away from the business. Like that's the opposite of what you want to do. You want to lean in because it's going to help you get through anything that you face in your life. So she also talked a lot about, Beachbody isn't your vision. Your Beachbody goals is not your vision. It is, like Marina said, the vehicle to get you there. But really what your vision is who you become in the process of being really great at this business. The further you get into this business, the more clear your vision becomes. And if you don't understand, she talked a little bit about like how her vision isn't just checking off all the boxes, like it truly is who you grow into. And if you don't understand what your vision is, and if it feels really fuzzy, that's normal, like especially in the early stages of your coaching. But the more you lean into this business, the more clear your vision becomes, and the more you grow into the person that you're meant to be. So you have all of these things that you are wanting out of your life and the experiences and all that stuff. So my biggest takeaways, I guess, are just encouraging everyone, like, think about what is your hard? What is your hard that you need to work through, and how can you use this business to do it? And don't you dare like step back when things are like, even think about this pandemic, like the craziest 2 years. I'm willing to bet a lot of us are better off than the general population because we've had this to focus on and we've been able to grow through it. But also think about the women in your community and in your life who are going through something hard. Like I've talked to coaches on my team who they have someone that they think would be really great, but they also feel like that person has a lot on their plate and they don't want to put the pressure of like inviting them to be a coach. But that's the opposite of what we want to do. Like this can be that saving thing for them. Look for the women who are going through the really hard times, because this isn't just about selling challenge packs and helping women get results. Like this is also about us and what we get to, how we get to grow, and the things that we get to overcome through this business. So think about those women in your life, invite them to the What is Coaching call tomorrow, and don't make the decision for them that they have too much on their plate, because you never know how this could change their life. I'll pass it off to you.
Hey guys. Yeah, I'm going to touch on a little bit about what Sarah said about the vision part, because I'm like Marina, I tiptoed through this business, and I feel like, 2 years after I started coaching and when I got invited to the vision call, that is when the shift happened for me. When I listened to Erin and everyone speak about like what they want for their life. And I thought, you know what, like, I know I'm a mom, I know I have a great job, but like, what do I actually want for my life? So I'm really, really thankful that I actually got on that call, because it really catapulted everything for me in this business. And I started to really think about my vision and my why. And so I'm going to talk about, we got these little bands that call, it says, take the leap of faith, because this business is a leap of faith. Like it's very unconventional, but in the freaking coolest kind of way, because what we get to do is put ourselves first. Truly, that when Sarah talked about, don't you dare quit. Like if I think about what my life would be like right now, if I had not had coaching, I would be crawled up into a bed, especially given the fact of my cancer diagnosis. I mean, sorry, not cancer, but almost cancer scare, and my mom dying. Like, honestly, being here with you guys has been the best gift for me. And to know that I did all of that and still was able to get to NLC because I was pushing hard for all these goals, So we're talking about the LEAP. So there's an acronym that means, with the L, it means lead from the front. Okay, so you're going to continuously be staying in your phase 1 activities, 80% of inviting and connection, and 20% in mentoring. We all want to do the easy stuff. I'm guilty of it, putting up our stories, but we're scared to invite. But I like when I joined one of Sophie's power hours, she talked about, diving into your community first, asking everybody how they're doing, and starting really on a happy note. That way, when you get to the inviting, you want to invite, you want to stay rooted in joy and in gratitude. That's also going to make you want to just send out all those invites, because what we're doing here is joyful. It's a lot of gratitude. Why wouldn't you want to invite people to what we are doing? Easy systems to duplicate. We do not want to make this overcomplicated, because when we make it overcomplicated, we just don't want to do, so just make sure that the systems that you have in place for inviting, not too long of a paragraph. I think it was one of the coaches that was just like, do you want to do this with me? I'm starting a group. Do you want to do this with me? That's it. A is for align your goals. So you got to share your goals. And that doesn't mean wait for Erin, wait for Courtney to ask you what their goals are. Go up. If you have big goals in this business, reach out to your coach and tell them what they are and when you want them by. And if you have your own team, share them with your team, and then encourage them to share them with their team. I think but Christina Delgado said, it wasn't about me wanting to reach these goals, but how can I make this be the best coaching year for you? So also help your coaches identify their goals. Like, are you coaching your coaches? Like, ask them how they want to be held accountable. And the fourth one is push through. So like Sarah said, you're pushing through the hard times and you are taking that leap. So at the end, we got this band from the corporate mentor, Kay Sean, and at the end of it, she asked us like, what is your next immediate leap? So before I pass it on to Erin, like drop it in the chat. I'm going to share with you mine. Like, a lot of the people that were there that were saying, I really want to make it to leadership. I really want to make it to leadership. And that is definitely 100% one of my goals. But my next immediate leap is going 2-star, opening up that second business center. I have Clarissa, I have a really good, strong, weak leg. And now I need to get myself a good, strong leg. And I'm diving into my community. I've taken a leap by changing up my community. I'm now inviting to that and getting those women that are in there, getting them passionate about their goals, and they are going to be future coaches. And so, Erin, I'm going to pass it off to you.
Oh man, I was saying like, I'm not going to cry because I'm going to talk about my business takeaways, but as I'm listening to you guys all talk, I'm reliving it, and I'm definitely getting all kinds of choked up. So if you know me at all, you know that I usually cry on team calls. So it's just going to be one of those days. But yeah, I love that. And like a moment that I'll never forget is debriefing with you guys around that little coffee table that we pulled together in the middle of the hallway, and just kind of like sitting there with you, just talking about our goals and what that next leap was going to be and what our takeaways were. And like, I just want to reiterate that when you're in a group of women like this, the conversation's just different. There's no small talk. There's no like chit chat. It's like deep and meaningful stuff. And like, you can cry if you want to, and you don't feel stupid, and your face hurts from laughter because you're laughing so hard. And like, it's just like badass business women who are like-minded, goal-seeking, like individuals. And it just felt so amazing just to sit there and be so comfortable with everybody, and on the same page. So huge highlight for me, for sure. I got to talk about the workout just real quick. I'm going to talk about my business takeaways more than my personal takeaways, but that workout, I mean, I've been told like what a workout with one of the super trainers is like in person, but until you get there, you cannot possibly understand the energy of hundreds of women that like I've just described in a room with you, working out with somebody that you idolize. Autumn was the first person that I ever, the first program that I ever finished, or even started for that matter. And here we are. Sarah and I showed up an hour early to get the best spot in the house. We were front row center with her. And Koo was there with us too. And I gotta say, like, it wasn't happenstance that two of my coaching best friends were the ones that were beside me during that workout. And the very first song that Autumn played was Unstoppable. And that's been like the soundtrack to my coaching journey. I finished a 30-day breakaway in my very first 5K to that song. It's just like played on loop. And so as soon as that song came on, like we're like doing the 9-week control freak warm up, and I'm just done. And we cried and we laughed and we celebrated throughout that whole thing. And like, we got to be like, last round, best round, like right in front of Autumn. And it was so freaking cool. So let me tell you, there is nothing like it. And I haven't gone to Summit yet because I joined during COVID, but I do believe that it's going to be really freaking incredible to feel 40,000 people in the streets working out together. But there is something really freaking beautiful about NLC because it's smaller and more intimate. So there were like 100 people in the room, and that felt really freaking cool. So please, 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 if you do nothing else, push to get yourself there. It was amazing. The corporate mentors spoiled us and made us feel so loved. Like just walking up to these guys and they're like, thank you so much for being here. And they're, like falling all over you, just making you feel important. And I don't know about you guys, but it's not very often that as a mom, I get to go away by myself, all expenses paid, and stay in a beautiful king size bed in a beautiful hotel room all alone. I just want to speak really quickly to the feeling of appreciation and being a little bit spoiled. Mom's work is often very undervalued work. And I don't know about you guys, but I feel that on the regular, that I'm working and I'm working and I'm working, and it's very thankless. This weekend, I felt between Courtney and Aaron and Kim spoiling us from the second that we showed up until the second that we got on that plane, the corporate mentors, the way that they put us up, like, it made me feel like a princess, and I really feel like I needed that. So just a couple little personal notes to add in, but the business takeaways, there's a lot of them. I really, really, really wanted to speak to my reflection on my own leadership. So I've always considered myself to be a pretty decent coach. Every effort had some really early success. I haven't been around very long, and I hit premier, and I did all the things. And I feel like because I was hitting the ranks, I just like automatically assumed that I was doing the right things. But this conference really made me open my eyes to the way that I don't feel like I've been leading my team effectively. My challengers are set. I'm good in that department, but I'm talking about my coaches. And in a very big way, I've kind of just been micromanaging my team. I'm doing a lot for them. I'm really like overly involved in my downline. I often do recruiting for some of my coaches, you know, inviting their challengers. And what I realized is like, this is doing a massive, massive disservice to the women on my team. Ultimately, what I want to develop is leaders of leaders. And so I'm walking away from this conference realizing that I've been doing a lot of hand-holding, and that's not going to be happening anymore, because I want to work with women who genuinely want to work this business and want to own a business. And so if that means me stepping back a little bit, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I really, really want to show them the way, but ultimately we have some incredible systems in place here within the sisterhood. We have more resources than I can even tell you we have. The other night, one of my brand new coaches, Jess, said that she stayed up late looking through all of the resources and all of the guides in the Sisterhood coach page. And I was like, yep, that's who I want to work with. I want to work with the woman who's Googling her questions with Beachbody FAQ and not asking me what kind of Shakeology flavors we have. That's the woman that I want to work with. And so basically, this made me realize the importance of, and they kept reiterating this, spending 80% of the time on my own business and 20% on my coaches. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going back to focusing on my business 80% of the time. And I think that that's really going to help to the growth of my team and the quality of the leaders. Like, all of these ladies are doing a great job, but they have the potential to really be business builders. And I feel like I've been holding them back. Another analogy, and I didn't even take any notes because I was just so drawn to her speaking. Danielle Natoni was talking about a roller coaster analogy. If you did Let's Get Up, you'll know who she is, because she's one of the cast members and she's awesome. And what I was gathering from what she was saying was, expect the roller coaster ride. We always talk about the coach coaster, and yet it never ceases to kind of like knock us off our feet a little bit when we're in that downward slump of the coaster, right? Like, it goes up and up and up, and we're like, oh my God, it can't get any better than this. And then we crash and we're like, oh, I want to quit. No, she said she wants us to expect the down, because only from the down can we grow. And so I really, really loved that, because I want to look for that down. I want to expect it. I want to anticipate it. And I want to also, let my leaders know to expect it. And what can we find from the low that we're in right now? What can we learn from this? How can we grow? And how can we ultimately get back on the up? Is how we become the best possible leaders. So I really appreciated her analogy and her speaking to that, because it was like, yeah, of course, like, we all go through it, even the best of the best. And the women who have been around, she's been around since like the early 2000s, and she still goes through it. So I really appreciated that she was talking to that, because sometimes it definitely will feel like it's just you, right? Another one that I took away is body. So there was one coach, Amber, and I didn't really identify with her as much on a personal level as far as like her whole spiel, but she was talking about her love of the platform Body a lot. And it really got me thinking about how this is a massively underused platform from my perspective. I am like huge into like promoting every single launch, promoting every single new program, doing every single new program, and really diving in and marketing around all of these launches. And I did not do a thing with Body. And I think it's because that's really not my jam. I'm a program junkie. I love following programs. I feel like that's the difference between like what's made this stick for me and ultimately why I lost so much weight and had so much success. But I also have to recognize that this isn't just about me. Like, my journey is my job. And yeah, I'm like, it's important to really like fill my bucket, but I haven't even given it a fair go. And now that I I've been in fitness for, going on 2 years, I have a really good understanding of what I need to do. So maybe stepping outside of my comfort zone is the next step. And I feel like as far as growth, this is an area that I have to go. So I've committed to doing the 60-day body challenge. If you guys haven't heard of it, just Google it or look on Instagram, and under the Team Beachbody page, they have a little ad about it. But basically it's 60 days, 60 body workouts, and you can get some free merch at the end of it if you submit your results. And so today alone, I posted that in my community. And I've got a chat pod going, and a bunch of women who have never had a body subscription are jumping on board and committing to this with me. So my goal for this year is income, and the income from body is actually really good. So I want all of my challengers to be subscribing to this monthly. And it's off to a really good start. Everybody also loves free stuff. So like push that free prize at the end. So yeah, I'm super excited to take this on, and I'm super excited to push myself out of my comfort zone, because sometimes when you've been around for a little bit, like, yeah, you're like, oh, another 30-day program, or like, oh, another 60-day program, but like, this is something all new, and I'm really excited to showcase this to my community and my followers, and just go for a whole other kind of like targeted market. She did say something that body offers the woman who constantly falls out of a program the chance to not feel like a failure. And I love that. How many times have you had a challenge and be like, oh, I started and I stopped again? Like, this is something that they can start and not have to feel bad about stopping. So cool. And I really didn't look at it that way at all. I was just like a bit of a hater because I love programs so much. So yeah, I'm starting that, pushing myself out of my comfort zone. And basically my call to action for you guys is just to take a long, hard look at how you've been running your business, because like, I thought I was doing my best, and I walked out of that feeling like I have so much more in me that I can do. And it's not to like say that this conference made me feel bad in any way. It made me feel empowered to like really take control and own my freaking business, to do the vital behaviors every single day, to get organized, to get my systems in place. Like, are you doing the vital behaviors? Do you know what they are? Because if you don't, go ahead and Google that when you get off the call. Like, are you following one of the nutrition plans? Because that's all part of it. Like, take this seriously. Own your business. Are you promoting and doing the new program launches? Like, I don't know how many women are like, yeah, that's just like not for me. I'm going to skip out. Like, these are massive business building opportunities. And if you are here just because you want a little bit of accountability in your journey, that's great. But if you're here saying, I want to build a big freaking business, you have to look at all of these opportunities, like body, like launches, like nutrition, like to be pregnant, another thing that I just purchased that I've got to start. So really, this is yours. And if you're waiting for your coach to show up and hold your hand and show you the way, that's already been done in the training. So now it's on you. Like, we will always be here to ask questions and help guide, but really like the fundamentals of the business are on you. So you really have to take ownership and step into that role and do it now, because the sisterhood is growing, and I really, really, really want you guys all to have this opportunity that we just had, because it changed my life. It truly did. Like, I think Danielle Natoni said, like, I fucking bleed blue, and like walking out of that conference, I feel like I do too. So Sarah, back to you.
That's all we got, Court and Erin, unless you guys want to add something. We'll wrap it up early.
Honestly, I'd love to hear from the virtual attendees if they have, like, this is now putting them on the spot, but I know they have so many takeaways, as they were literally sitting there like nerds writing all of the notes and then just discussing it. So if you guys have stuff to share, I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, I think I can jump in. We had a much different experience of this conference. We really did. And we're not gonna hide that or sugarcoat that. We had a much different experience. We locked ourselves in a hotel room from Friday afternoon, Friday evening until Sunday at 11. And we brainstormed and chatted business the entire time. Friday we went to bed at midnight because we were talking about, what do you need? What do you need to change? What information are you looking to get? And literally, I think I have like 10 pages of notes. But the theme of the weekend was simple, duplicatable systems. And good night. And
our biggest thing coming out of that weekend was figure out, like, do the business activity tracker. And we kept talking, business activity tracker, but then there's all this other stuff that you have to do as a coach, you know, doing the leaderboards, doing the scheduling, the check-ins, planning your content, planning social media, doing all of those things. So we literally dumbed it down to the simplest level. And I can tell you, today's Wednesday, I'm, as listening to the call, working away, this is probably the most work I've done in the past 3 months. Why? Because we've broken it down. These are my daily actions. So I know that if I have to focus on these 5 things, Monday to Friday, which is my time that I'm the busiest, I have my list that I have to do at some point during the week. So if I have an extra 5 minutes today and I've done my income producing activities, then okay, I'm going to go to the weekly list. Yep, I'm going to do this. Otherwise, I'm going to plan some time on the weekend to do that. And then we have the monthly list of stuff that we have to do once a month. And we then sat down, looked at a 4-week calendar, planned backwards. So what if coaching is always the last week? We run our challenge group. They usually start the second week to just and brainstorm on posts that will match up with where we are at in our 4-week schedule. But honestly, like, we took all of the fluff around it. The speakers were great. They were motivational, but we were so driven on getting out of there with a clear path to work this business in a little bit of time, because we all work full time. All of us that were there, we work full time. And honestly, I feel empowered just having broken it down. So I'm going to drop that document in the Sisterhood Coach page, and then you guys can kind of look at it and build on it. But it was the biggest gift that I was able to get coming out of that conference, is simply it. That this way I can feel empowered, and I can do this. I can do these 4 activities in an hour, Monday to Friday. So I will drop it. That was my biggest thing.
I'd actually love, and mine is less about NLC, but also about NLC. So I just want to say, if there's anybody on here who's still, and I don't know how you could be, but if you're still doubtful about the community aspect of this from a coach perspective, if there's anything I came out of this weekend with, it was like a huge appreciation for this community, even in a virtual sense. So I was supposed to go to Vegas. I had to cancel my flight Wednesday night, and I was supposed to leave Thursday morning. I caught COVID, and so I couldn't go. So I was like pretty devastated, to the point where I was about to let it ruin my entire weekend and my entire experience. And we had like a chat pod with the virtual attendees, and all of the virtual attendees participated in the conference together. So we'd have like the presentation on one part of our screen, and then we were all together on Zoom in another screen. And I can say I've never, ever in my life felt that type of support and community from, like, not all strangers. Some of these coaches, I've heard their names, but I've never talked to them. Some of them are coaches I know really, really well. But it like literally pulled me out of like a super dark place. And me a year ago would have never, ever believed that a virtual community like this could have done it. So if you are doubtful in any way of how this community can be a supportive community, then I urge you to rethink it, because it's amazing. It's a game changer.
So I don't really have anything like else to add, because my 2 points were exactly like Sophie's and Megan's. First of all, like, I think we're all over virtual and looking at each other through a screen. So to be honest, I was going into this weekend same, like feeling very defeated that I wasn't in Vegas and blah, 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 because of my teaching job. So a real eye-opener was like time freedom for me. I know we hear that's one of the reasons we love this job, but I've always been like, I'm never leaving teaching. Teaching is my life, like, because I love that. But holy shit, guys, I didn't get to go to Vegas because of my friggin' day job. That is the reason. I actually got COVID at the beginning of January, so I didn't have to worry about that bullshit testing or anything. Like, I didn't go to Vegas because of my day job. So that was like a real eye-opener to me about what true time freedom meant. This was the first time I was like, man, this business could really, really change my life in a way I wasn't expecting to come out of this weekend feeling that way. That being said, what we did do in that hotel room, look, I have goosebumps. The rest of them cried all weekend. I kept getting goosebumps. Like, what the four of us did was unbelievable. Like, we came together in so much community, and we felt so empowered being together. And it was, and to Megan and Brianne and the other Sisterhood girls that might not have been in that hotel room with us, we lived NLC. So maybe we weren't in Vegas, but we got to attend the conferences the same. And we weren't going in between conferences to go get beautiful for our photo shoots and all of the things. We were diving deep in this business. And honestly, I am more fired up than I have been in 2.5 years. I started in June 2019. I'm 2.5 years into this. And I see where this can take us, and we all have the same 24 hours in the day. So put away the bullshit. I've had a lot of bullshit. Like, I have hitting snooze, getting down at 5:15 in the morning, scrolling for a bit, whatever. It's only day 4 tomorrow, but I'm still fired up. 5 o'clock in the morning, I am down here. I am done my workout and done my PD by 6, and I've been doing a power hour every single morning, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. So find those pockets of time. I know we say find those pockets of time, but my pockets of time before was grazing all day long this business. Like, checking this at recess and checking this at, like, I have a time schedule now thanks to our brainstorming session. And we all have the same 24 hours in the day, no matter how busy you are. I'm a mom, I'm a teacher. I know it's not easy, but it's very doable. And I am leaving this business so proud of being A, on this team, and B, knowing that we can go places with this. So you can see I'm still completely fired up from this weekend, and I wasn't even in Vegas to experience all of that. It's just, it was life-changing. It really was.
Wow. I think something that's really cool too is that for anyone on this call, like, even if you are a brand new coach and you're not even Emerald, getting to that event, it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to create a goal of leaving your job or anything. Like, those events can provide absolutely everything to everyone's goal, right? I think the goal of community is one that we can't truly grasp until we're there. I was talking to one girl on the Crush Nation team, and she said to me, she goes, you know, I'll never forget when you mentioned that at your first summit you were smoking and hiding and stuff. And it brought me back to that. I kind of didn't really remember that, but I was. My first summit, I went and I was still smoking. And I would, like, go downstairs super early in the morning to, like, hide around this one corner, or, like, after some of the sessions, I would, like, hurry out early, and Aaron's like, why are you walking so fast? I'm like, I gotta get ahead of the crowd. Or no, it was like after the big super workout with like 25,000 people, and I wanted to leave early so that I could have a smoke and no one would see me on the way back, you know? It was in that first experience that I truly started to, like, look in the mirror so much harder. Because when you're surrounded by people that are constantly focused on living healthy, fulfilling lives, it really levels you up. And that was like the first time that I was like, because I've always been like an own it type of person, but I was hiding. And it really slapped me in the face, in the sense that, like, all right, if I want to stay and be here in this community, it's really time to level up and to figure out, like, who I am as a coach, right? And how I want to show up at the next event. And anyway, talking to one of the girls that was on the Crush team, and she sort of was going through some similar things. And I told her, I said, this is up to you. You know, it's up to you to grow, because you can't show up like this forever, right? You can't show up with these demons forever. You need to face them and grow. And every event you come to, you're going to be stronger and stronger and stronger. For us, the ladies that came, the 5 of you that came, we couldn't have been any more proud. Like, you guys are stars. how you shared the experience on your social, like the words you were saying, the emotion you were sharing in your stories. Like, we were so proud. We would just like be sitting in our room like did you see Aaron's stories? Do you see Pooh's? Do you see Clarissa's post? Like, we were just like losers, like stalking you guys. It was amazing. And one of the coolest things for us was just finally like having our team experience Beachbody, because before this event it was just Aaron, Jen, and I, and Sophie, who recently came to leadership. 4 people on our entire team that have ever been to a Beachbody event. And so now we're 9. And I cannot wait for Summit. Every single one of you, like I said, Coach, Emerald, Ruby, 5-star, I don't care what you are. That event is for you. You will gain so much from that event. And I went into my first summit the same. I had just hit Success Starter. I was an Emerald coach. You know, I had very little expectations from the company or goals or anything. And it changed everything. Yeah. We are so proud of this team. I just wanted to say a huge thank you to Sarah for organizing it, for all the ladies for speaking, to the virtual crew. I think that sounds like you guys should do a team call on your new system, because that sounds really interesting. So I'll connect with you guys, and we just so appreciate everybody's energy and sharing tonight. Bye, guys.